Hello guys, this time we will continue in our Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Soulstorm Imperial Guard metagame series with quite a bloody matchup. Imperial Guard versus Orks. This is a match for real men, isn't it? And not only for man. I guess such a famous personality as StarCraft 2 siege tank operator Sergeant Hammer would feel at home in such a matchup. Well, Orks are tough, and even if we probably don't want to, we have to admit they cannot be underestimated. Orc player Master Yuba occupies a #1 spot of the Soulstorm ladder at the moment. Well, which specific game to choose here? I wanted to choose something typical for this matchup from Imperial Guard perspective, which is also played instructively so I can learn from it. This is why I downloaded replay of the game alixUK versus Greg, played on the Meeting of Minds map on 15th of November 2020. There is rating difference in between these players. alixUK is already pretty experienced Imperial Guard player, rated safely above 2000 MMR, usually around 2200 MMR. He has his YouTube channel, which was cited here before. We already presented Alex's game versus the other faction here also. Greg is an Orc player with rating around 1700. That means lower than Alex, but apparently he's not unexperienced also. He will be able to keep the pace for quite a long time this game. Meeting of Minds is a map with beautiful complex layout with 10 strategic points. 3 critical locations, 2 relics and 2 slag deposits. Slag deposits are very rich power resource reservoirs, which can be utilized with a special building called a thermal plasma generator. This building is useful for the late game. One more note about the map. Relic position is quite easy to defend because it is placed on a form of natural bastion. What to highlight before the start of the game: Orcs can be threatening because of their economic possibilities. They capture points slightly quicker, so they decap them also a bit quicker, and they can build structures rapidly too because of reinforced Gretchen builder squads boosts construction speed. So it seems Imperial Guard players cannot so much rely mainly on defensive taking up because they don't want to risk being economically too much behind. They have to pump out more units earlier to put some pressure on the Orcs and to compete seriously for the map control. We will see prolonged play on tier 1 with Tactica building placed before tier 2 headquarters upgrade. Similar style of play continues into tier 2, where the priority is not taking into tier 3 but to make a strong infantry army with some small mechanized support. Check what happens in the game. alixUK spawns in the northeastern position and queues guardsman and builder. Active engineer builder starts infantry command near the strategic point at the southwestern entrance to the base. Predicting choke points and overseeing strategic points this way can save a lot of nerves later. First generator is shift queued, so the standard Imperial Guard opening is underway. You cannot skip a quick generator if you plan some active game with a command squad, because priest and psyker in the command squad cost some power resource. Command squad is a flexible unit with a good harassment potential, so it is planned immediately after infantry command finishes. We can realize interesting strategic points capping pattern on this map. It seems Imperial Guard wants to expand its borders and fortify them, so alixUK sends first guardsman squad to capture near southwestern point, then farther southwestern point, and then this unit should try to capture central critical location. The second guardsman squad is skipping nearest strategic points to the east and north of the headquarters and moves towards northwestern strategic point, then towards relic, and then towards northern critical location. Very close eastern and northern strategic points near the headquarters are planned for the third guardsman squad. Before the third guardsman squad, commissar is made from the headquarters to improve Imperial Guard harassment potential. Command squad is not wasting any time, and it moves towards Orc borders to find some harassment. At around 2nd minute mark, it's going to initiate some hostile contact with a Sluggerboy squad. And slightly later, Orc McBoy, attached to the Shooterboy squad, kills some guardsmen, capturing the central relic, and forces them to flee towards the Crowders, providing cover to the north. Cover helps to withstand range attacks because it reduces incoming damage. The third guardsman squad It started around this time with a goal to capture 2 strategic points, which were left idle until now, the eastern one and northern one, at positions shielded by buildings, making them very safe from hypothetical orc incursions. Some good news come from the center, where after 2:30 Orks Lega squad was destroyed by command squad. To be frank, this game is not easy to comment because of constant action, even though battle clashes are probably the most interesting to watch and of course important for the final result. This game in general is very micro-intensive. I want to focus more on the build order because this is what represents basic ideas which can be used repeatedly in this matchup as some form of anchor, and newer player can, for example, train it against a computer. Listening post building is very crucial in the early time frame, since 1 minute into the game until about 4:30. At this time all 6 listening posts on friendly strategic points and relic are placed and finished. After 4th minute mark, 2 listening post 1 upgrades are already finished on farther southwestern listening post and on the relic. So the Imperial Guard player is protecting vulnerable entrances to his base, and on the same time he improves his requisition economy. Few seconds after 4th minute mark, command squad destroys Orc listening post 1 at the farther northeastern entrance towards the Orc main. This position was harassed by alixUK already, and it will be targeted repeatedly. Why? Is it just some form of an obsession? Not at all. This location is chosen as a target deliberately because Imperial Guard attackers can retreat towards the nearby craters providing cover. They can also run a bit further to shelter themselves near fortified friendly relic location. Another benefit is the short distance towards the central critical location. If the battle is won, the army can safely capture the center. More guardsmen squads are coming towards this position near destroyed Orc listening post to create combined force of 3 shooting guardsmen squads. They are being reinforced heavily because their capturing role is mainly over now. They are entering primarily fighting role. One of the guardsmen squads have commissar attached to boost their naturally quite a weak morale. Well, this attack of 3 guardsmen squads and command squad has some potential because all 3 squads combined can dish out some damage against Orc troops. Anyway, it can still be considered more of a poke type of attack. Orc player was even bold enough to place pile of guns building there. Main purpose of joint guardsman attack is most probably to position the troops well and make them less vulnerable and also easy to reinforce and upgrade when they are close to each other. Second generator was started around 4:30 to finish before 5th minute mark. Then Tactica control building is speed built and battle armor upgrade is ordered immediately. Early Tactica is considered a strong choice, especially if Orcs make a lot of shoota-boys. 3rd and 4th generator are done shortly after. Death before dishonor upgrade, improving morale and more regeneration of the guardsmen starts around 6:30 and finishes before 7th minute mark. Guardsmen squads are armed with grenade launchers and supported by sergeants after Tactica is finished. Before 7th minute mark, every guardsman squad has 2 to 3 grenade launchers and a sergeant. The upgrades and armaments are used offensively because just after 7th minute mark, Imperial Guard army pushes near Orc pile O guns position. So the macro build-up before was focused on to allow this attack with upgrades and grenade launchers to hit at around 7 minutes, and also to prepare for tier 2 progression because of more generators. Tier 2 upgrade is started before 7:30. One note about interesting idea with the central critical location, which is naturally the most contested. When Imperial army moved through the center, they just decapped it, but didn't slow themselves down with capping it after. They also didn't split their army because of capping. During Tier 2 headquarters upgrade, 5th generator is being built. Some defensive focus is now apparent in Imperial Guard building sequence, so with first heavy water turret placed near the relic and with another one planned soon. Missile add-ons are also planned to raise the range and to potentially counter vehicles. alixUK wants to make something like defensive bastion at the relic area, serving as a safe spot and fire support for the guardsmen. Battle is still ongoing near Ork pile guns, Big Mac teleports with shooter boys behind the guardsman army. The guardsman attack is not going to break the Ork defense, so the Imperial army is going to retreat. 4th guardsman squad is started before 8th minute mark at infantry command to raise Imperial Guard firepower. alixUK wants to enhance this unit's power to the fullest with heavy weapons and sergeant. When Tier 2 is done, Ministrorum Temple add-on is constructed to initiate continuous priest production immediately after to reach final guardsman squads composition, when commissar squad and 3 priest squads, all with sergeants and heavy weapons. When a macro milestone is finished for Imperial Guard before 9th minute mark, all the listening posts are upgraded into listening post 1. Then after 9th minute mark, global requisition upgrade is started. Infantry army is more requisition heavy, even when upgrades are taken into account, so requisition global is prioritized. Around 9th minute, Tactica starts satellite targeting upgrade. The next infantry upgrade, weapon specialization, improving grenade launcher damage and amount of heavy weapons allowed per squad, is mentally triggered by finishing the 3rd priest.
They cannot withstand us! Where is his will needed? Where is his will needed? Let me preach his name! Where is his will needed?
Defense is bolstered with heavy weapons team going for a last cannon upgrade to improve anti-vehicle potential. We can notice some Ork harassment near the outer southwestern Imperial listening post 1 when the Ork transport vehicle war truck appears. By the way, it is interesting how the Ork vehicles are called. I'm not sure I can distinguish these war trucks and war tracks in pronunciation well. A listening post is destroyed by 2 unloaded shooter squads. Imperial infantry is running there to punish these Orks.
You called for some suppressive fire? Beacon, ready to fire!
Orks try to fight the Imperial infantry but have to retreat soon after because guardsmen squads are fully reinforced with a lot of grenade launchers and already with few plasma guns. Commissar's execute was used to boost guardsmen damage massively. This affects all guardsmen within the range of 30, so just 1 commissar is sufficient for this infantry mass. Mechanized command is placed in speed belt, mainly to support infantry advancements against Ork vehicular forces by sentinels, so sentinel depot is planned. 3rd engineer is produced to rebel destroyed the listening post. Last, 6th generator is made soon also. I guess Imperial Guard needs more power resource because of the vehicles planned. For 12th minute mark, last guardsman focus Tactica upgrade was done. Will of the Emperor enhancing morale. On 12th minute mark, Imperial Guard has a well-prepared infantry army with 4 guardsmen squads with altogether 12 grenade launchers and with at least 1 plasma gun per squad. Some squads are still building plasma guns. There are 2 squads with 4 grenade launchers and 1 plasma gun each. In each of 2 other squads, alixUK has just 2 launchers and some plasma, and orders even more plasma. Plasma guns are handy, especially against jet-packed equipped storm boys, who are popular against Imperial Guard. Heavy weapons team sieges up to the west of the main base to provide some cover, even in the central area, because of its long range. Imperial army marches towards the central area in belligerent mood. There was some clash with Ork vehicles. One of them was repaired by a Gretchen squad, and with weakened Chutaboy squads. Heavy weapons team was able to damage Ork vehicles from afar. Before 13th minute mark, power resource global upgrade is initiated. Last Tactica upgrade for this game is started around the time also. Uncommon Valor to improve the command squad. Sentinel Worker was then slightly after 13th minute mark, with another one to follow. Imperial Army goes on offensive in the center with 4 fully reinforced guardsmen squads with sergeants, 1 commissar squad and 3 priest squads with full heavy weapons armament. That means 5 heavy weapons per squad. 2 squads have 4 grenade launchers and 1 plasma gun each. 2 other squads have 2 launchers and 3 plasma each. 1 tech priest goes towards the center too to repair sentinels and probably to threaten offensive turret. Sentinel closing to the center is damaged by Ork anti-vehicle unit tank Bustas and has to retreat. Huge battle ravages around 13:30 in the center with the Orkish force of 2 transport war trucks, 2 offensive war trucks, 2 Shutabai squads, 1 sluggable squad which seems not reinforced. Behind this, alixUK is upgrading listening post 1 on Relic into listening post 2. Executed by Commissar was used to boost damage output of the infantrymen. Around 14th minute mark, we can see Imperial Army held the ground with deadly grenade launcher fire, and the remaining Ork forces are going to leave the battlefield. Grenade launchers have the range of 40, outranging all Orkish weapons used here. That means guardsmen are able to score some free hits when they have enough vision. Thermoplasma generator was placed slightly before on the slag deposit to seal even the economic advantage. This spot is going to be protected with 3rd heavy water turret to gain some defense and cover fire. This time very close to the position of Orkish mech shop. Sentinels will be positioned close to the mech shop to hunt Orkish vehicles immediately. Slightly before 15th minute mark, guardsmen are attacking the mech shop, being opposed by 2 Tangusta squads which are not specialized into facing masses of infantry. Slightly after 15th minute mark, tier 3 upgrade is finally started. We were able to see that the Imperial Guard stayed on lower tiers quite long to push the Orks with infantry around 4:30, around 7 minutes mark, and after 13th minute mark, each time with precisely planned upgrades and reinforcements to make each of these attacks significantly stronger. This prevented the Orks from having too much freedom for the economic and technological development. I want to thank both players for this interesting game. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you in advance for your comments and opinions, and have a very nice day.